This is a weird comment, but I'm a little surprised that shield generator held up as long as it did against 4 ISDs unloading full tilt into it. Of course, then Thrawn pulled back, and it's kind of obvious why. He was actually after surrender. He wanted to beat them completely, then he wanted them to surrender. Otherwise, he would have just destroyed them, which was easily within his power. Meanwhile, over on Mandalore, there's a civil war going on because the Saxon faction has the backing of the Galactic Empire. Told you, by the way. Interesting political dynamic. It's just nice to see that it's still happening. It's also nice that when Ezra says goodbye to Sabine as he's leaving, he means it in an extremely literal way. You can tell that he is saying goodbye, as in he's never going to see her again. Probably because he's going to his death. Instead, they come back with what they've got, and they manage to actually take out the other interdictor. Woo! I find it interesting that the Bendu gets personally involved. I also find it interesting that Thrawn has no hesitation on, repositioning and reanalyzing the situation and firing on the center of it. Like, okay. Because he thinks in terms of logic. Things have rationale to them, right? And really, everything the Bendu does is within reason, with only a couple of exceptions. And one of those is his trick. He did it before, actually, with Maul. And now he does it here. And I find it interesting that he predicts Thrawn will find defeat, surrounded by many arms and a cold embrace. I also find it interesting that Thrawn even asks. He says, I can see, and then what do you see? I mention that because not every person would be willing to acknowledge the possibility that what the Bendu is saying is correct, that he can in fact see what Thrawn cannot. It is in anger that Thrawn then responds. Meanwhile, Price fails at everything because Price is a moron. She is continuing to not impress. One whole season, and the whole time I'm just like, yeah, okay, no, she's a Krennic. I want to point this out especially, though. Thrawn was smart enough to just keep Kallus on his bridge. Not to demoralize him or anything, but because it's probably the safest place to keep him if he doesn't want to execute him. Kallus says one quip to Price, and Price immediately just, go execute him. So they haul him off, and he effortlessly escapes, because of course he does. I mean, what the hell God, she's so stupid. I am happy that Kallus got out, though. I really am. It's nice to see him formally join the crew and become part of the main party. And yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm not actually sure what else to say about this episode. It's a nice one. Kind of a change to the status quo, again, as each season ender has been and should be. Next week, next day, next whatever, whenever we get to it next, I have no idea when these are going live right now, but whenever we get to the next episode, that's going to be Season 4, and we're in the final stretch. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'll see you guys next time.